And while the rest of the world mocks and laughs and scorns at China, regardless of what anyone else in the West thinks about that, China society. Has there ever been a mass school shooting in China? Hi world, hi YouTube, this is Sabrina in China. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you for joining. Today, it's a lovely sunny day here in Hangzhou. It's beautiful to be outside. I'm walking around in this beautiful park. So beautiful. Hello. He's fishing there. You can always find Chinese people fishing in these little lakes. So beautiful today in Hangzhou. I hope it is beautiful wherever you are. Today I want to talk about things that are in the West that I've never seen in China since I've been living here for the last 4 years. And how this topic came about is that I was on a birthday trip with my friends, and we were just talking about how beautiful China is and all the reasons why we love living in China. And then we started comparing things to our own country and talking about social issues. And one of the topics that we mentioned in terms of social issue was homelessness. And I just recognized that I've never seen a homeless person in China. In the last 4 years, not one time have I seen a homeless person in China. And I don't have the answer to that question. I don't know if there are homeless people in China. What I am saying is, in the last 4 years, I've never seen a homeless person. In comparison to in my own country, there are dozens of homeless people on the streets. When I visited the US, I spent maybe sometimes 4 months, 6 months. I saw homeless people on the streets a lot. And I have been living in China 4 years, and not one time have I seen a homeless person in China. Why is that? Why is that? You know, before I came to China, someone is watching me. Hello. 你会说英文吗? A little, okay. Okay, bye-bye. I wanted to ask them about homeless people in China, but I think maybe they're not able to understand me clearly. They said they only speak English a little. Okay, back to what I was saying. So, why is that? Why is it that I've never seen a homeless person here in China? And I'm genuinely curious about that, you know, because before I came to China, I heard all these stories about how horrible China is, all the things that are wrong with China. So much so that before I came here, I was so fearful because I didn't know what to expect. I had all these ideas and thoughts about how horrible my life would be in China. But thank God I decided to take the leap and come to China, and I have totally different opinions and views about China. So I just wonder who's telling the truth, because the stories I heard before I came to China in comparison to what I am seeing while being in China are two different things. You know, clearly they've changed the story. And you know what? So I was in my class, this happened 2 weeks ago. This girl, I will change her name. Okay, my name is Shatian. My Chinese name, I have a Chinese name, Shatian. And so Shatian lied about something, and the kids started saying, 夏天撒完变故事，撒完变故事. And they were saying it a lot, and I was curious. I wanted to know what the meaning of 撒完变故事 is. So I repeated a lot, and then I got Google Translator and I repeated what the student said, and the meaning was something like 夏天 changed the story, or 夏天 is a liar, something to that effect, right? So what I want to say about the West is 他们撒完变故事，他们撒完变故事. all I have to say about that. Do you want to know what the streets of China are filled with? These Meituan and Ele.me riders. They feed the Chinese society. Listen, these guys, they are so efficient. There they go on the mission to feed hungry people in China. They are like super riders, man. They're on a mission to feed hungry Chinese people and hungry foreigners. So grateful for these delivery riders. They're so efficient. Absolutely no one on the street begging, sleeping, no shelters, nothing. This man is probably checking for orders. Yes. No homeless people on the streets of Hangzhou, China. You know what, Wendy? I'm here with you and your son. Say hi, Neil.
Hello.
Hello. And I'm just thinking, has there ever been a school shooting in China?
No, never.
Wow.
It's very safe in China.
Yeah, actually I did a video about that last week, and I was just talking about how safe China is. And I've never heard of a school shooting in China. So in China's history, that has never happened, right? A school shooting.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Wow, that is incredible. Like, as a kindergarten teacher, I spend a lot of time with my students, and I just think how lucky the kids are in my school to not have to wake up each day and worry about their safety. They're allowed to be kids. They don't need to think about, will I make it back home to my parents? They don't need to learn some survival tactics, some survival techniques as kids. They're allowed to be kids, sleep, eat, poop, and play. They're allowed to do that without worrying about safety. And while the rest of the world mocks and laughs and scorns at China, I believe the Chinese society is getting something right. There are a lot of things that the West could learn from China. So, living in China, I support China. Regardless of what anyone else in the West thinks about that, the Chinese society is getting something right. Another thing that I've never seen since living in China are lazy people. Chinese people are very hardworking. Doesn't matter the job title, it doesn't matter what they have to do. If you give them a task to do, they will do it. They will not complain. They do what they have to do and move on to the next thing. And I think that is why there aren't so many homeless people in China. I think that's why there aren't so many beggars in China, because Chinese people are hardworking. They understand the value and the importance of hard work and working for their own money and doing the right thing. So I think, again, the Chinese society is getting something right. I wish a lot of the values that are here in China would be adapted in the West. Life would be so much better in the West. It is for these reasons why so many foreigners, they come to China and they get hooked on China. They come, they want to spend a year like me, and they get hooked. They're here for 5, 6, 10 years. I was talking to a friend of mine. He lives in Europe now. He left China 2 years ago, and he said the worst thing in China, the worst problem in China is the best problem to have in his country. Why is that? Why is that? So many foreigners are here saying so many positive things about China. Why is that? That is because the Chinese society is getting something right. And I just hope that if you're a foreigner watching this video and you're thinking about coming to China, do not hesitate. Life in China is beautiful. And if you're a foreigner who was told a lot of negative things about China and you're fearful and you're hesitant, I hope that you give China a chance. I promise you that you will love everything about living in China as a foreigner. And I hope that I also change some ideas and thoughts that was implanted in your mind about China. It is not true.